Tere päevast kõigile! Mina olen Tiina Unuks, ma juhatan teid läbi tänase päeva. Kuna tegemist on ingliskeelse pressikonverentsiga, siis ma nüüd lülitan ennast inglise keele peale üle. Hello everybody, my name is Tiina Unuks. I'm the head of Prison Operations Management Division. I'm welcoming you here on the name of Ministry of Justice and Digital Affairs. Today is the day when we are going to sign Memorandum of Cooperation, which is annex for the main rental agreement. It has been 2 years since we started the project. It was 2 years ago when we had the first idea to rent out free places in Tartu prison, and now today we are signing the final document to do so. Before we begin, I will briefly walk you through what is going to happen today. I'm going to give the word at the start to our minister, Liisa Pakosta, who will say her opening remarks. After that, head of Swedish Prison and Probation Service, Mr. Rickard Hjelmsten, can say his opening remarks. Then there will be signing of the agreement, and you will have the chance to take the photos. Then Mr. Rait Kuuse, who is head of Estonian Prison and Probation Service, will join the table, and also Niklas Bellström, who is the project manager from Swedish side. They will give you a brief overview about the Memorandum of Cooperation, and you will have the chance to ask the questions. Journalists and guests who are joined us via online, you can submit your questions through Slido. The information about the access and how to access Slido is in the description under the YouTube live stream. But now, without further ado, I will give the word to our minister, Liisa Pakosta.
Thank you. Thank you everybody for coming here via internet or on the site. Ja vabandan siis veel kord ka Eesti publiku ees, et jätkame inglise keeles. It's not a topic that any minister is happy to deal with. It's not that you start your morning, what a wonderful day, today I work with the prison issues. But to secure to our people the justice, to secure the wider security in our society, prisons still have a place in our society, and there are always issues to deal with. In Estonia, we have been quite lucky. Actually, the situation that more than half of our prison places are empty and that our criminality rate is so low is something that we are truly happy about. Because the best crime is that never happens. But if it happens, justice has to be secured, and prisons have a role in that. 2 years ago, we calculated in Estonia between 3 possible solutions for the empty prison places. And we chose the least bad option. Sorry to say so, but it is the fact, the least bad option. The least bad option is that we will secure the working places to people who are capable to support our inner security, that we offer to our security people international cooperation possibilities, that we help another NATO country, and that we in this way make all the region more secure, because the criminals do not know the borders of the states, and if we have an issue in our neighboring country, it is an issue for us as well. And today we are signing the practical details of this work. Our prison team has already started, and we are very, very happy that already the first risks have not fulfilled one of the risks that was talked very intensively about, that all the policemen will start their work in prison service. Now we see that there is a massive interest to work at Tartu prison, but not from the police side. So there are either people who have worked there previously or young, bright, new people who want to try this. Estonian Olympic hero Kristjan Palusalu was once an example how it might be a good place for young people to serve their country for a limited period. I will take the questions afterwards, so I will not take up the time from now, but I'm very thankful to the Swedish team because really it's the agreement and the work that is first time in the history of the world. What makes it so special is that everything goes here under the Estonian law. We do not rent out an empty house, but we fulfill our laws, and this is something that nobody else has done before. So we have had a lot to discuss with each other. It has been a very good discussion, and we will go on with that. And I hope that our teams will definitely learn from that, and we will absolutely find solution to every possible question. So that was from my side. Thank you, and I'm happy about the questions from both sides afterwards. Thank you. Yeah, please, Richard.
Thank you, Madam Minister. It is a privilege for me to be here today in beautiful Estonia, in my capacity as head of the Swedish Prison and Probation Service. And that's because it is important for the very reasons the Minister just told us about. And from our point of view, Swedish criminal law has developed rapidly in recent years. Therefore, our authority needs more prison places. And our cooperation with Estonia provides an important addition to the new prisons being built all across Sweden at this very moment. But this partnership has delivered more than additional capacity. It has also created very valuable opportunities to learn from one another, to develop our organizations and strengthen the relationship between our two services and our countries. The fact that Swedish inmates will soon serve a part of their prison centers in Estonia is, as you have said, historic. No country has ever implemented a similar arrangement before. Moreover, we have had very little time to make it happen. And I'm very impressed by the work being done from both our teams to make this happen. Today, the government's agreement on prison places at Tartu prison enters into force. At the same time, we are now signing the memorandum that sets out the practical details of our cooperation. And it clarifies how the arrangement will work in practice and is an important step in the preparations. But as you said, Minister, I'm very confident that there will be new questions and we will solve them as they arise. Preparing for this operation together with our Estonian colleagues has been both exciting and challenging, especially with such a short time frame. But along the way we have learned about both the similarities and the differences between our two countries, while remaining united in our determination to make this happen. We are now ready to begin with the first transfer scheduled later this month. Finally, I would like to thank the Estonian Ministry of Justice and Digital Affairs and the Estonian Prison and Probation Service for their close and very constructive cooperation. And I am certain that this will be an example for other cooperations concerning other questions, because it is unique and it has been very, very well handled. So my thanks goes also to all the staff in both countries whose dedication and hard work have made this possible. Thank you.
Allkirjastada. Okei.
Okay.
Thank you. So, it's done. Tahtsid veel või? Ühe veel, okei. Now the yellow stickies got also some attention. Yeah.
Okay, now I would like to welcome also Rait and Niklas behind the table. They will give a short overview about the Memorandum of Cooperation, and I would like to remind that people who have joined us online can submit their questions through Slido, and then we're going to ask them later on. Rait? Yeah.
Tere ka kõigile minu poolt. Jätkame inglise keeles, aga rõõm on näha, et huvi on nii suur. Welcome from my side as well. Estonian Prison and Probation Service is very dedicated to deal with the fulfillment of this agreement. Today is quite a remarkable day for us as well, because we now are in the beginning of real implementation, and all the tests and preparations actually come through and show us that how many adjustments still needs to be made. But I'm really confident and thankful that we have built such a trust with the Swedish Prison and Probation Service during these 2 years, and also already had some good insights and learning moments together, how to advance our prison practices further. This Memorandum of Cooperation is kind of a final formal document which is necessary actually to implement from very practical point of view this agreement. It is unique indeed in Europe, not only in Europe, also in the world, where two, I would say, world best prison services are working together, because we have both high standards, and everybody knows that Estonia has invested a lot past 3 decades into the renewal of the entire criminal justice system and building new prisons. Of course, the experience of our neighbors shows that we never can kind of predict for sure what will happen in 10 years, in 5 years even, in the criminal policy, because the world around us is rather difficult. So we need to be ready also to have some capacity, even if we don't need it at once for our own use. I'm very glad to see that there is a great interest towards Tartu Prison to work there. We have received within a little bit more than past month around 400 applications for starting a position are starting to work in the Tartu prison. The first new recruits already started to go through the training, and I'm also glad to see that, as was said, that we have found a lot of new people interested in internal security matters to work in the prison, not only in Tartu but also in Tallinn prison, in Viru prison, and so on. So this project already has encouraged people also to rethink that where they could develop professionally and contribute to our internal security. Now, coming to the practical details, as was said, this month the first prisoners are supposed to arrive to Tartu prison. Here I would say that we both in Estonia and Sweden, we want to be as open as possible regarding all the details of fulfillment of this contract, also the movement of prisoners and so on. But there are certain reasons as well why we cannot be always, online open, that when somebody arrives and so on, because it's still quite a delicate issue. Security matters the most, and therefore I also urge you as well that not to be too keen to be present at every second when certain situations happen, when the planes are landing and so on, because it's a delicate and security issue. But I ensure you that when the prisoners arrive, we share the information immediately with you as well. So I think that it has to be said, and hopefully not to be then abused. We will be as open and transparent as the procedure allows us throughout the course, and I think that we have showed it already as well. And I will not go to the details about this Memorandum of Cooperation, because it's more or less a lot of practical aspects how we work in the address of Turu 56 in Tartu. We know our work. We have negotiated and kind of played through all the possible imaginable situations. We have agreed how the communication procedures are happening at a very practical level, and I think that this is just necessary for the practitioners to build a mutual trust and understanding. So, thank you.
So, a little bit more about the practical details of the arrangement. This is, as already been said, a joint project. We have been working hard for 1 year with all these practical details. And my thanks also go to my colleagues, both in Sweden and here in Estonia, for a job well done. The practical framework that is constructed by this memorandum is depending on, or we are depending on, clear rules for which country is doing what and when. So this is part of this framework to clear things out, that we will be absolutely sure how things are going to happen in real life. We have joint responsibilities where our two countries or two services are making decisions together or based on information from the other country. We have situations where exceptions are being made to the Estonian legislation, which are told in this agreement how in practice that will work. And we have developed these solutions together, and that close cooperation is reflected throughout this memorandum. Under this arrangement, Tartu prison is still an Estonian prison. It's being operated under Estonian law. This is very clear. The operational management and its security is all managed by Estonian Prison and Probation Service. The Swedish Prison and Probation Service have obligations also, and these are set out specifically. For example, Swedish Prison and Probation Service is running the prison school with remote teachers from Sweden. Other obligations for the Swedish side is offender case administration on site within the prison, together with our colleagues, Estonian colleagues. We will also provide all the support necessary to the Estonian colleagues in the prison, and monitor the operations. Sweden will also contribute with rehabilitation programs through video to complement the Estonian programs being provided within the prison. Some other examples which are important from a Swedish point of view and also Estonian point of view is the concept of dynamic security, where the professional relationships between the prison staff and the prisoners are a key for both security and for rehabilitation. The prison will be organized in separate security zones, which is something important both for security but also to prevent isolation or segregation when it comes to conflicts and incidents between prisoners. The agreement also establishes clear procedures for information exchange. This is an important part of the collaboration. Which information is to be sent, when to send the information, and how the communication is supposed to happen. With the agreement in place, we now shift our focus to implementation. And on the Swedish side, the preparations are ongoing according to plan. The first Swedish staff members who are working inside Tartu prison arrived yesterday. During the day, as of now, the first requests of prisoners to be placed in Estonia are being sent from Sweden to our Estonian colleagues. The first transfers have been planned and exercised jointly in both countries, and all the administrative procedures have been mapped and tested between us. Sweden have been developing a training concept together with Estonian Academy, and this training has been ongoing throughout the spring and will keep happening during the autumn and spring next year. Taken together, these preparations mean that we have established a strong framework. At the same time, this is a unique and unprecedented arrangement, and we will have to expect situations to arise that has not been anticipated. I am convinced that the preparations during this year have built a solid foundation to solve these issues together. And during this process, the rights of prisoners and the rule of law governing the execution of sentences will remain fundamental. Yes, so on top of the clear procedures, the close cooperation and the mutual trust being built, we are being well prepared for the first prisoners to arrive later this month. Thank you.
Thank you. Now we're going to move to a press conference. I would like to ask Heidi to come and help me. We will take the questions from the room, and also Heidi will read the questions that are submitted through Slido.
Yes, hello everybody. Do any of you in the room firstly like to ask anything? Please state your name and the organization. I will give you the microphone.
Andres Einman, newspaper Postimees. You said you can't be very specific when the first prisoner arrived to Estonia, but can you tell something little bit more? Is it tomorrow, next week, after 2 weeks?
I will start with answering. So I fully understand the media interest into the exact date, and I fully understand the interest to take photos, but there are security reasons. And for that, we will make it open when it has happened, not before. It is both to respect the human rights, but most importantly, we need to secure all these procedures definitely on the territory of Estonia as well. And that means that we are not going to make it public before, but only after. So having full respect to your interest into these matters, that will remain our position, and please understand that in the way that also that when the money is moved on the territory of our country, we announce it afterwards, not before. That's the same with inmates. So it will be made public afterwards. Thank you very much for this this question, but that would remain the answer.
Anybody else?
Mari Pelmaa from newspaper Õhtuleht. So my question is, well, I understand that daily the prison workers will use different translation tools, but if a Swedish prisoner has mental health problems, for example, they have depression or maybe even are suicidal, how will they receive psychological help? Will a Swedish psychiatrist come to Estonia to help them so they could express their feelings in their first language, or how will that work?
Yes, thank you for the question. It's actually the daily work of prisons already today that we have to deal with very difficult situations, and also with the people in stress and even depression, and with a lot of kind of mental illness or mental health issues around. So that's why, first of all, the prison employs also psychologists and social workers, and also the prison officers have the basic training how to recognize and intervene at the place as a first person properly with those people and then situations. And then we have also the medical department who has psychiatrists as well. As you know as well, probably from our practice, the Tartu prison has also a special psychiatric ward where the psychiatrists are working in order to assess the more serious kind of issues and how to properly treat them in entire prison system. So that kind of capacity remains there. Of course, regarding the translation, we are using all kind of opportunities, starting from the investing into the language skills of the staff, but also using the equipment, but also using the professional translators. So if there is a need to very precise and perhaps more proper medical kind of attention, then the professional translators will be employed in order to prevent the situation where the translation errors would cause some damage.
And if I may, I will add that for the Estonian audience especially, that we have both international inmates already at Tartu prison for years, and at the same time in all Estonian prisons more than a half of inmates do not speak the same language as the staff. So our staff is very well equipped already with experiences and knowledge about the situation when the language is not the same. So it's not a new situation.
Any more questions here? Okay, so I will now move to the Slido. We have two questions there as well. So one of which was actually mostly already answered, which was the date of the arrival. I would just like to add from my side as well that when the date arrives and the prisoners are here, we will send you all a press release about it. And at the same day, we will give you also the opportunity to interview the spokespeople at Tartu prison as well. So we will keep you informed in all the ways possible. And another question is being sent to Estonia is the sending to Estonia for the Swedish prisoners an additional punishment for them?
No, it's not an additional punishment at all. It is an arrangement that is constructed to make certain that it is as likewise, if you have your sentence in Sweden or in Estonia, that's the whole key procedure. And we have received quite a few inmates in Sweden who has expressed interest in serving part of their sentence in Estonia. But as has been said, a sentence will always begin and end in Sweden. But it's definitely not any kind of additional sentence.
Thank you.
I would like to add here that even more this practical agreement includes also a little bit of change also to our inmates. So one of the topics we have been arguing is nicotine.
Yes.
And opening our prisons to nicotine pads is something that we are very not happy at all. But this is something that you pushed through very strongly. And we are looking to the possibility to treat, of course, equally both the prisoners. So that might change the situation for some of our prisoners, but that exemplifies the way we have been working and how much we value human rights from this point of view. Not that using nicotine in prison is any way related to a human right, but if there is one part who can do that, then yeah, of course, it should be enabled also for another part. We have even changed our prison law from that aspect. So really, we have been working in the way that from one part, the security issues are extremely important, and from the other part also that we protect on the highest level all the human rights is also very important to us. And I will use this possibility also here to answer two questions that have not been asked, but what are going randomly around. So first, the visitors. All the visitors are checked. We have already experiences from the international inmates that they don't get visitors, and none of the people will get any extra rights to settle them in Tartu. Last time Tartu city had more than 600 inmates in July 23, so the situation will not change from that. None of the inmates has any right to go out to the town, so this is absolutely clear. And the second thing that is the information that is going around is that there will be new groups, criminal groups coming to Estonia. As said, everybody already by the law, also from the Estonian side, is very thoroughly background checked who wants to visit the prison. So everybody has a possibility to travel even now, but if you want to go to the prison to meet somebody, you get a thorough security check, and if you do not meet the requirements, you don't get the permission to meet anybody. And as Rickard already said, there is a lot of possibilities for video. Our inmates have pads, and that will be also delivered to the Swedish part. Thank you.
Thank you. No more questions here.
If I can just add something to this point, since no one knows already now which prisoners will be sent to Estonia the future, the coming years, we don't know for sure, but according to our latest estimates, as you said, Rickard, the prisoner's sentence will start in a Swedish prison during a short period of time, in Tartu prison, and then finished in a Swedish prison. And our estimates say that this period of time in Tartu prison will be on average around 9 months, which means that it's relatively short period of time. So it's relevant in the discussion of visits and the risk of people moving to Tartu.
Thank you. Tack så mycket. Well, that concludes today's formal program. Thank you all the speakers. Thank you to everybody who joined us here in the room and online. Members of the media, you have the chance now to take one-on-one interviews. Thank you and have a good day.
Tack så mycket.